It's that time once again! Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. Fusako Sano is a Japanese woman who was kidnapped at the age of 9 and held captive for 9 years and 2 months. Rescued at 19, she was frail and mentally affected by isolation, suffering from PTSD and physical weakness. After getting her life back in order, in 2007, her father drowned in a pond while they were spending time together. English speakers will feel uncomfortable if a pause in a conversation lasts more than 4 seconds. Japanese speakers are comfortable with a pause of up to 8 seconds. While divorce had been briefly legal during the Second Spanish Republic in 1932, Franco began to overturn these laws by March of 1938. Divorce in Spain thus remained illegal till 1981. Producer Brian Grazer had doubts about making 8 Mile with Eminem when M was reportedly having an issue with Elton John. However, Tom Hanks convinced him to not drop the movie by responding, "Are you crazy? That's another character, that's Slim Shady. He doesn't even take it seriously." There was something called the Final Experiment, a 2024 Antarctica expedition where flat earth YouTubers saw the 24-hour sun, which could not be explained by non-spherical models. This prompted at least one YouTuber to publicly admit that they were wrong and leave the flat earth community. The Kong family, descendants of the Chinese philosopher Confucius, had the longest traceable family tree in the world, spanning more than 80 generations with over 2 million members. Dungeons & Dragons is banned by Wisconsin's Waupun prison for promoting gang-related activity. There was an approximately 1,920-year-old letter written by a Roman cavalry decursion named Masculus. It was written to Prefect Flavius Cerealis, inquiring about the instructions for his men for the following day. It included a polite request for more beer to be sent to the fort. They had already consumed all their entire stock. In 2021, a bank accidentally deposited $50 billion into a Louisiana family's account. Osceola McCarthy, a washerwoman from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, became one of the University of Southern Mississippi's most celebrated benefactors. In 1995, she arranged for $150,000 of her savings to fund scholarships for students in financial need, a surprising amount given her modest earnings. The James Bond actor George Lazenby quit after one film because his agent, Ronan O'Reilly, told him the character wouldn't last through the 70s. Oh, how wrong he was! That's a classic. The word humongous didn't exist until the 1960s. There's a replica of Orange County, California, in China near Beijing, complete with suburban homes typical of California, and was designed by a Californian architect. Jennifer Connelly had nearly half of her finger bitten off by a chimpanzee while filming Phenomena in 1985. It was surgically reattached soon after. MotoGP racers' forearms experience such consistent strain that most racers develop compartment syndrome and undergo surgery to treat it. The 1922 Nosferatu movie was ordered by court to have all copies of it destroyed. Bram Stoker's widow considered it too alike to Dracula and sued over the adaptation's copyright violation. Some copies survived, and Nosferatu went on to become one of the most influential horror films of all time. Also, side note, if you haven't seen the remake from in the 2020s, oh lord, it's amazing. You should definitely watch it. From 1868 until 1913 in the US, 90% of all federal revenue came from taxes on liquor, beer, wine, and tobacco. Hans Christiansen Andersen frequently accompanied his younger Danish friends to the Paris brothels. It was there that his companions amused themselves, but he only just talked to the workers. There was a sequel to Saturday Night Fever called Staying Alive, in which John Travolta tries to make it on Broadway and is notable for having been written and directed by Sylvester Stallone. 16 years after Michael Jackson's death, his estate earned $600 million in 2024 from a music catalog deal, more than any living celebrity, even Taylor Swift. Janae Ann quadruplets, born in 1930, are identical sisters who all developed schizophrenia by the age of 24. Studied by the NIMH, their case suggested a strong genetic link to the illness. Abu Zaid al-Baqi, from 850 to 934 CE, was a Persian scholar. He rejected the idea that mental illness was caused by demons or supernatural forces. He recognized conditions like depression and anxiety and argued that they had natural, psychological, and physical causes, centuries ahead of modern psychiatry. There's something called tonic immobility or trancing in rabbits. It's an immobile state rabbits go into as a defense mechanism and a state of fear when put on their backs. Operation Cat Drop was an attempt to reintroduce cats after the population was devastated by mosquito spray and the vermin population exploded, devastating crops in villages in Borneo. Olympic champion Franco Testa quit cycling to become a butcher. The Blackguard children, also called the Blackguard Youth, they were gangs of mostly homeless orphans and runaways in the 17th and 18th century in London's poorest neighborhoods. They survived by begging and stealing, and they were depicted in Daniel Defoe's Colonel Jack and Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist. In 2005, a scholar made an offhand suggestion that Niccolo Machiavelli may have been abused by his Latin teacher. This caused controversy, with another scholar defending the teacher, Paolo Sassi's upright moral standing. Years later, new evidence showed that Sassi was indeed a predator. There was something called Shipgoo 001, a novel bacteria and archaea accidentally found in the rudder housing of a research ship. Ako Dasawa Fetish Market in Lome, Togo was the world's first voodoo market. Fetish referring to an object believed to possess spiritual or supernatural powers. Fetishes for sale include monkey heads, dead birds, and other dead animal products. A big part of the reason American cars are so large is because American fuel efficiency standards tie required fuel efficiency to car size. The kanji was a brutal wooden collar used in ancient China for public humiliation and punishment. It was so heavy and restrictive that prisoners couldn't feed themselves and often died from exhaustion and starvation. The director of photography for the movie Inside Out 2 took inspiration from the movie Uncut Gems to visually represent the feeling of anxiety. A man named Trofim Lysenko was a Soviet agronomist who rejected conventional genetics and natural selection. Lysenko believed that plants of the same species never compete, and so forced farmers to plant seeds very densely. This actually harmed fields, contributing to large famines in the USSR and later China. Venezuela has by far the biggest proven oil reserves in the world, but produces approximately 10 times less oil per day than the country in second place by proven oil reserves, which is Saudi Arabia. The entire United States Marine Corps won an Oscar for Best Documentary Short Subject for the 1944 film With the Marines at Tarawa. Radio station KUOW accidentally used an extensionless image for its logo on its stream. This caused Mazda infotainment systems to be permanently stuck on KUOW as it tuned in. This is because it didn't know what to do with the extensionless image, requiring a total replacement costing $1,500. The island of Iwo Jima is off limits to the general public. The island today is military bases. Those that can visit are those visiting graves of former residents, attending memorial services for fallen US and Japanese soldiers, and staff working there for government agencies. In 2019, guards at the Oklahoma jail faced a lawsuit after forcing prisoners to listen to Baby Shark on repeat for hours. The Office co-stars John Krasinski and BJ Novak went to the same high school. It was there that Krasinski starred in a satirical play written by Novak where they were seniors. Cats are crepuscular, not nocturnal. This means that they are most active at dawn and dusk and sleep throughout other times. The Benny in the memorable line "Benny, bring me everyone" from Leon the Professional was Keith Glasgow. He was an NYC firefighter on top of being an actor who passed away in 9/11 in the collapse of the South Tower at only 38 years old. Martha Ballard from 1735 to 1812 was an American midwife and diarist who recorded over 1,400 pages of daily life and births on the Maine frontier for 27 years. Her detailed diary offers rare insights into colonial women's lives, family struggles, local crimes, and an early American social customs. At the end of the 2024 school year, teachers in the state of California are paid the highest, $101,000 on average. Teachers in Mississippi make less than $54,000 in salary and are paid the lowest. The thylacine or Tasmanian tiger was hunted to extinction after being blamed for killing wild stock, though its jaw was so weak it likely couldn't kill more than a possum. It had tiger-like stripes and could open its jaw 80 degrees. The last known thylacine died in Hobart Zoo in 1936. There was a man named Pasquale Basili that survived a 22-story freefall during 9/11. Since the 19th century, there have been over 100 official attempts to locate Alexander the Great's tomb in Alexandria, Egypt. In 2017, Uba Butler, who used to write fake restaurant reviews, created a fake restaurant in his shed as a social experiment. Without serving a single real dish, the Shed at Dulwich became London's #1 restaurant. When he finally invited guests and served pre-made meals, they still praised it. Mr. Cruel is an unidentified offender active in the late 80s and early 90s in Melbourne. Two girls described the house where they were held and heard planes nearby, suggesting it was near Melbourne Airport. He was the prime suspect in the 1991 offing of Carmine Chan. In 2001, the Nepalese royal massacre occurred, where the Crown Prince Dipendra offed 10 members of the royal family, including the king. Leonidas of Rhodes was an ancient Greek runner whose record of most individual Olympic victories was unbroken until 2016 by Michael Phelps. And that's it. Let me know what you thought of this video, which fact you found most interesting in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe because you won't want to miss what's next. Thanks for watching.